Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Dyana Dyamonds. I have been an adult entertainer for 20 something years, and today's video is going to be the real reasons why I quit dancing at Claremont Lounge and Club Ecstasy in Atlanta. And right now I'm on hiatus from dancing in Atlanta, period, until further notice. So if you're interested, grab your tea, your coffee, your favorite drink. I have my Starbucks drink. It's a hazelnut oat milkshake and espresso, aka blonde espresso. It's absolutely delicious and highly recommend it. Not sponsored, just something I wanted to pick up, get me through my day. Anyway, obviously I'm here at home in my bedroom, and this video has been on the back of my mind for some time now. And I don't know why. I'm very spiritual, and I kind of see things differently than most people do. I've tried to record this video already like 5 times, so I feel like somebody out there does not want me to put this out there. That's kind of how I look at things. If you know, you know. But it's my story to tell. Also, you guys, I will be changing names from the actual people that I'm speaking of, because I don't believe in getting in trouble for slander. I don't do that. That's serious disrespect. So I will be changing names to protect the people I'm referring to. Also, I am making this video for educational and entertainment and awareness purposes only. Like I said, you guys, I'll be 42 on the 20th. It's November, and happy Saturday, by the way. It's already the 9th. Yeah, it's the 9th already. Time flies. Anyway, but I've been in this business a very long time as far as stripping and working in brothels. Today's topic is about strip clubs and my story of like how I got into being a dancer. Mind you, before I was a stripper, I was a working girl in Nevada, and we can talk about that another time. So we're just gonna put that subject aside for right now. This is strictly about dancing and stripping and all that fun stuff. And I wanted to bring awareness to girls that are baby dancers or somebody that is wanting to get into the business. It's not an easy life, you guys. I don't care how fabulous some of these people, these content creators, make stripping look. Sure, when you're making $5,000, $1,000, $800, $200, whatever the amount is you're making, it's worth it. I'll put it that way. But we're gonna go over pros and cons after I kind of give you guys a backstory. So this might be a little bit of a longer video, more than I normally share. But I kind of wanted to, since my channel is growing and a lot of you are reaching out more, I kind of wanted to give you a little bit more in-depth of a backstory on what I've been through in my life. So let's get into it. So again, this is November 2024. We are going to backtrack back to around, I'm going to say, June 2013, per se. Not going to go into too much personal things, but kind of give you a gist of my story. I had started dating, somebody back when I was 17. I was still in high school. I met somebody, I'm going to call him Joe, and I met him online off of a dating website. We were together about 15 years, and for the most part, things were good. I had more money at that time in my life than I had ever had in my life, even as a dancer. Because dancing, it changes every second of the day. So, how can I say? Financially, with Joe, I was the happiest moment in the world. For like the first, I want to say, like through the 13th year, things were good. We moved around a good bit. I lived in Vegas for a while. I was working in a couple houses out there, dancing in Vegas. Then I moved back here with Joe around 2012 because we decided that we had gotten tired of each other and wanted a fresh start. Long story short, I found out he was cheating on me. He was going to school to be a pharmacy tech, which was wonderful, and I supported him through that. And it got to the point where I wasn't sure if he was in class or if he was out chasing girls, you know. And it just got out of hand, you know, and I wasn't going to take it anymore. So we decided to come back to Atlanta, and we went our separate ways. While he was chasing girls, I ended up reconnecting with a old flame. We're going to call him Carlos. So Carlos and I knew each other since we were kids, and he was my first love. And go read my book if you want to know more about Carlos, and you'll see the name change pretty much in my book. But for the sake of the video, we'll call him Carlos. Carlos and I ended up having a baby. I had a miscarriage. Long story short, I was in Mexico for a little while. Carlos had gotten in a lot of trouble here in Atlanta and ended up in prison. We lost touch. When he was getting ready to get out of prison, we reconnected. I know I was stupid. I really was, and I admit that. Hard lesson learned, trust me. I went to see him in prison a couple times. You know, we reconnected that way as well. I know, stupid again. After he had served 10 years in prison, he got out and was deported to Mexico, which is where he was from. So Carlos ended up back in Mexico, which, to my knowledge, that's where he's at now. I don't really care. I wish him well. So while Joe, my husband at the time, was out having his affairs, I went to Mexico to visit Carlos and discuss what could be or might not be between us. And I am guilty. I had an affair with Carlos. I got pregnant. I was in Mexico for a little bit of time and decided to come back here to Atlanta to retrieve what I could out of my house that I shared with Joe, because Joe and I had at that time decided to call it quits completely. And we said, okay, that's fine. You go your way, I'll go mine. That was that. So I told Carlos, I said, I have a bad feeling something's going on back in Atlanta. Let me go back to Atlanta and get what I can out of my house, put my affairs in order, you know, my papers, my money, all that stuff, whatever I had. And then, you know, if we still want to move forward, you know, especially since I was pregnant and everything at the time, I will go down to Mexico and have a life with Carlos. And so I came back here. Long story short, I ended up having to take a taxi from the airport because Carlos stole my car at the time, and the car was legally in my name, and he stole it for 2 weeks. Didn't come get me at the airport. I had to spend $200 to take a taxi back to where I was living with Joe, and Joe had made it a living hell and beat the shit out of me. And we had a big fight, and I don't really remember too much. I try not to. And I lost my kid, and I could only get like maybe like 2 carloads of my stuff out. And while I was in Mexico, Joe and I had a shared bank account, which I will never do again. When I left to Mexico, you guys, I had like $13,000 in my account between my money and Joe's money. And true story, he ended up decided to go have fun with some girls that worked at clubs that were strippers. No hate on strippers at all. I still consider myself a dancer. It is what it is. The game is the game. And Joe had a little too much fun. Spent probably, I want to say, like $12,500 in one night on a girl. And that was that. So I called the bank because the account was basically mine, in my name. I was the original owner, and I had him removed. And then when I got back, I went to the bank and I only had barely $600 left. He had wiped me out clean. And he had pretty much taken all his things out and left. And I had to go through the cops to get my car back. I had to show them the title, that the title was in my name. And I demanded my car back. And that was the only way it was going to leave. And it was horrific. So that was that. Then after all that kind of simmered down for a minute, I ended up going back to my mom's for a while. I had a lot of like family problems with my mom and stuff, and it is what it is. I still love her, and she's my mom, but we don't see eye to eye. I'm the black sheep of the family. I'm the gypsy. I've always made my own way, did what I wanted to. I always believed as long as I wasn't hurting anybody, who cares, you know? And I still, to this day, feel that way. So I was like, okay, I've got to put my life together. Here I am, you know, 2013. Everything seemed like it just happened overnight, you guys. Just like that, my whole world turned upside down. And Joe wouldn't leave me anything other than the 600. So I had my little Kia Optima that I had at the time, and it was rough. Long story short, I knew I had to find another job, and I didn't want to work at Walmart. I didn't want to work in a grocery store. I knew I needed cash, and I needed cash quick. And I went on Google and had my little phone, you know, and everything, and I found the Claremont, and I am so thankful to Claremont Lounge, and I always will be, because they saved my life. So I called down there and I talked to, let's just call her Kelly. I talked to Kelly. She was the manager there at the time on day shift, and I asked her if they were hiring, and she said possibly come down and talk to me. So sure enough, I went down and met Kelly, and she was pretty cool, beautiful lady as well, and we hit it off right away, and she hired me right there on the spot. And like I said, thankfully I still had $600 left, and I got by for a little while on that. And then I went, after I got hired from Kelly to work at Claremont, I had to go get my permit, because here in Atlanta, pretty much every club that I know of, you have to have a permit. The only club that I know for a fact you don't have to have a permit is Club Ecstasy, and we'll talk about that later. So I started working at Claremont. Had no idea what I was getting myself into. It just got to a point, you guys, like, I think number one, I got burned out of it for being there for 10 years. I would take breaks and go work in Nevada for a little while and then come back, and they were cool with that, because I told them my situation and they realized who I was and all that. But what it comes down to, you guys, as far as Claremont, I just feel like I was bullied to no end. Whether it was girl, now let me set this straight. Not every girl that I worked with at Claremont was mean to me. 90% of the ladies there are absolute sweethearts. Shout out to Blondie. I love you, mama. Guys, go check out Blondie at Claremont if you're in Atlanta. Go check them out, period. You'll have fun. Not every girl there was a hater, but there was one or two. I'm not going to say their names. I'm not going to give them that attention. They would not stop harassing me and bullying me and picking on me, okay, while I was working. So I drank, okay. I thought Kelly and I were friends, but I was wrong. Boy, was I wrong. I believe in my heart that Kelly was trying to sabotage me. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. But, sorry guys. I honestly feel like I was being sabotaged in my face, and I was stupid enough not to see it at the time. But now that I've been away from there for, I want to say like 2 years now, and I've I'm sober, completely sober. I don't drink at all anymore, and I'm proud of that. But when you have haters that are constantly trying to belittle you and talk shit about you, excuse my language, in your face, it gets old quick. For example, we'll call her Anna. So Anna and I never really got along, and that's normal in a strip club, because you're going to find somebody that's kind of similar as yourself, just as pretty as you are. And Anna's very pretty, and so am I. So that was a problem right there. But it got to the point between Anna and I that if a customer would come in and she knew, like, she had her regulars and I had mine, she would go sit on the other side of the bar, talk to her customers about me as loud as she could so that I could hear her. I'm the kind of person, I don't like drama. I am an extreme introvert. I am an empath, number one. I can smell bullshit, excuse my language, a mile away. I've just been in the game long enough to see situations for what they really are. And I just feel like Anna had it in for me. Okay? I'm sorry, you guys. It just kind of upsets me even to think about it. And I wish Anna nothing but the best. Nothing but love. There's no hate here. But long story short, it just upsets me that people have nothing better to do and they're so insecure with themselves, and they do not love themselves, in my opinion. They want to pick on somebody that does love themselves. Granted, I was not perfect. I screwed up. I made my mistakes, and I own that. I'm human. But at least I'm woman enough to own up to my mistakes. And they know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to go into that. But, it just got to the point, you guys, where it became unbearable. And it was miserable. So, basically, I would work Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, day shift, from 2 to 8. Which was nothing when compared to when we used to open at 1 p.m. back in the early days, before COVID and everything, and they had construction happening. And anyway, if you know anything about Claremont, you know what I'm talking about. It's went through a lot of wonderful changes over the years, and I'm very happy for them. But like I said, that was nothing, because before all the changes, before COVID, we used to open at 1 p.m. So I would work 1 p.m. to 3 a.m. sometimes, doing double shifts. And that's when I made real good money. So on days that the money was good, was worth it. Okay? But, so if you don't know anything about Claremont Lounge is the #1 strip club in Atlanta. Hands down. If you don't believe me, go there and see for yourself. And I have nothing but love and respect for everybody there. So please don't think this is a diss video. It's not. It's just me sharing my experiences there. Claremont Lounge is in the basement of Claremont Hotel. So you have this giant hotel that has a rooftop bar on the top. You have the hotel in the middle with like other bars, restaurants, stuff like that, and then Claremont Lounge is down in the basement. So it's very cool to check it out and see. So if you're ever down in Atlanta, go check it out. Excuse me, guys, I was thirsty. But it just got to a point that I think, in all honesty, I had more customers than a lot of girls. And I wasn't doing any, like, sexual favors for these guys or anything like that, like a lot of people said I was. I wasn't. I know better. That's illegal, okay? I just have the ability to hustle. I know how to make money. I've done it my whole life. And people like Anna, for example, don't like that. They don't want to see anybody doing better than themselves. And it's a shame to me, because I really hope people like that learn how to love themselves more. And to me, it just seems like they don't. Because if they did, they wouldn't be worried about what the hell I'm doing. Excuse my language. They wouldn't. Or what the next person's doing. Or what that person's doing. You know, it's all stupid. I call it as I see it. And this is my apology to Claremont Lounge. I am sorry for whatever I did back then. I am not perfect. I went through a lot. You guys know nothing about and never will. So I hope you forgive me. And I am thankful and I love you. And I'm going to leave it at that. So it just got to the point, guys, that I just couldn't take the constant bullying. And then with management, with Kelly and other management, I will not name names, but with other management, it was just like, okay, the rules for me were not the same as for Anna or anybody else. You know what I mean? It's like favoritism is how I looked at it. And apparently management favored Anna more than me, which is fine. She can have it. I'm not them. You know? Dancing, you guys, is not as glamorous as it seems. It's not. And the thing with me in Claremont also, you guys, especially day shift, night shift, they usually had more customers because you got to think about it. The people that are at work, they don't want to come in the daytime. They want to come in when they get off after work, you know, and go enjoy themselves. Just like with any strip club, in my opinion. And I just feel like it was 3 versus 1 with management and with Anna. And if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. But I feel that. I feel that way. And I think that I always will feel that way. I just felt like I was an outcast because of my past in Nevada, number one. They didn't like that. They didn't like me, period. And it just got to the point, like, especially after I stopped drinking, you guys, and I became sober, I could see everything for what it was. And when you work Thursday shift, you know, day shift, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, you can sit there Thursday, Friday, and not make a dime because nobody comes in until like 8 o'clock when it's time to go. Who wants to sit in a strip club and stare at each other and have nothing but drama and backstabbing and throat cutting? Not me. Not me. And then on Saturdays, you might make $300 or $400, you know, before 8 o'clock. And it would even it out financially because, you know, you might have lost 2 days for not making anything. And it can happen. And I have asked to go on nights repeatedly. For whatever reason, they deny me. Even now, I've asked if I can go on night shift because I don't want to deal with the drama on day shift. I'm over it. I'm not desperate. I don't need it. For $1? Nah, I'm good. Anyway. But they won't let me. And I never signed a contract with them saying that I'm only going to work Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I never signed anything like that. But yet they forced that down my throat. Like, those are the only days you're allowed to work. And God forbid if I wanted to go back to Nevada. And that's how it got towards the end. Like, I couldn't do anything. Like, I couldn't go out of town on a weekend without them getting mad at me and threatening my job. And I just got to the point where I was just like, it has changed so much there. I was just uncomfortable. Like, the energy that I was sitting in. You know, like, if you walk into a room and people are staring at you, and not in a good way, but they're kind of just, like, giving bad vibes. That's kind of how it was. And the energy there just got real heavy. And I just felt like I wasn't wanted there. And I'm the kind of person, I'm not going to be where I'm not wanted. And see, like, the way it is there, there's 2 ladies that own the Claremont Lounge. And they're absolutely wonderful ladies. But for me personally, it was not wonderful. I'm sorry, but that's how I feel. And on one side, one lady, one owner, said, okay, yeah, come back to work. Fine. And then the other side, the other owner was like, no, I don't want her here. And then she is best friends with Kelly, the one that hired me. Kelly has turned her back on me, per se, and didn't want me there either. So both of them are like, no, and then the other one over here says yes. So I'm like, if it's that big of a deal, bye. And I left. And I don't regret it at all. My mental health is better. I quit drinking. My health's a little bit better. I've lost weight. But that's where I stand on Claremont Lounge. And I'm very thankful because at the time, in 2013, I don't know what I would have done without them. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you. I love you and I appreciate you. But it comes to a point where you have to put your mental health and your physical health above and beyond your finances. And I'm not going to say it doesn't hurt me sometimes, because I miss them. I mean, you work with people for 10 years, they become your family, more than your own family. But at the same time, I do have some morals, and I do have boundaries, and I respect myself, no matter what they believe. Because, honey, I've heard it all, about everything. So that's why I quit Claremont Lounge. I just got tired of it. And I'm not gonna repeat this. I'm only gonna put this out there once, but I kind of wanted to give you guys a backstory on how I became a dancer, why I started dancing, and why I left Claremont. Because sometimes a lot of people ask me, hey, are you going back to Claremont? What's going on? And the answer is no. My home now is Nevada. I'll talk about that later. Now, let's talk about Club Ecstasy in Atlanta. And again, this is not slander. This is not dissing the club itself. The club itself is wonderful, but the way that it works did not work for me. And we'll talk about this a little bit and go from there. Club Ecstasy is the only club in Atlanta that I know is that's open 24 hours, number one, which is cool. I love that. Number two, you don't have to have a permit because they don't serve alcohol, which, okay, that's cool. I get it. I was at Ecstasy probably about a month, if that, you guys, and the vibe itself was just so different than what I'm used to. I'm used to working in strip clubs, with bars and stages and things like that. And this place doesn't have those things. Now, they have a room there where you can go and get a private dance with a pole and, stuff like that, which is cool. But for me, myself, I'm a little bit thicker than the average stripper anywhere. Which, fine. If you like me, you like me. If you don't, you don't. That's great. I don't care either way. So you pull up to this place, and then when your car goes to when it pulls into the parking lot, you can hear it. So think of it as you go to a fast food restaurant, and you go pull through, and the weight of the car makes the alarm on the inside go off, so they hear you on the headset. Club Ecstasy has kind of the same setup, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that. So the minute somebody pulls in the property, which is great. The setup, like I said, the club itself is beautiful. The staff there is wonderful. My problem with Ecstasy was I never made money there, you guys, at all. And they want you to work 8-hour shifts, which, okay, that's fine. Some clubs do, some clubs don't. They have their own way of scheduling girls, so that was fine. When a gentleman would come in, and this was a gentleman's club, so no ladies, no couples, none of that, which was fine. I had no problem with that. They would come in, ring the bell outside, and we would let them in. You had a little skit that you would say, hey, how are you? Have you been here before? That kind of thing. Kind of give them a rundown of how things work. But you guys, Let me know in the comments if you made it this far. Drop me a diamond or a heart. Would you go to a strip club, okay, and pay $140 just to get in? And hey, if it works for management there through the other girls, that's great. But for somebody like me, that's a bit much. And I'm not dissing them, I'm not slandering them, I'm just sharing my experiences and my thoughts. I just couldn't see hanging around any longer than I did, and really I shouldn't have been there that long. But I liked the place, and I tried to make it work. So basically, let's say a gentleman would come in, and he was like, okay, cool, 140, no problem. You take him to the ATM, or, you know, he could pay Cash App or something like that, and then you would take him back to the VIP room, which was beautiful, no problem. And then he would have to pay more. How, like, for example, if my prices was $100 for, I don't know, 20 minutes or something like that, just an example, that's $240 for 20 minutes, you guys, for a VIP lap dance. If you've gone to strip clubs before and you've had a VIP, then you understand kind of how it was working. And excuse me, I just couldn't make it work for me. Now don't get me wrong, I did see some girls that are making money, so I know there was money there, but it was just, the vibe wasn't for me, and I let it go. And I took time out away from dancing, like completely just pushed it aside, and I stayed here at home. I do have some gigs here online that I work for, and I make my money that way right now, as well as like Uber and DoorDash. I do phone sex. If you don't know, now you know. And it's been great. Money's good on there, and I'm happy with that. But yeah, there you have it. That's why I quit Claremont Lounge and Club Ecstasy here in Atlanta. And the main reason I have quit dancing in Atlanta right now is just because I want a break from dancing. It does take a toll, you guys. Like, it gets to you, because it's hard to always pretend like you're happy. And I'm not saying I'm not happy, but it's how can I say it right? Give me a minute. You kind of have to have a alternate persona to be a stripper. I don't know. That's just my way of doing things. Like, some girls, they might really be who they are. I don't know. But for me, I have, when I'm in my Dyana mode in a strip club, it's hard to explain. But if you're a dancer, you know what I mean. Like, you want to be happy and smiling and laughing, and everything's wonderful, and everything, and all that glitters is gold, that kind of thing. And then I have always tried to, another thing too, for anybody watching this that's a baby dancer and want to dance, learn to keep your personal life and your work life separate. Now, for the most part, I'm real good at that, but sometimes I have went through things in my life and I've left them cross, and that's where problems come in. And that was another thing too with me at Claremont, and I'm sorry, you know. Stripping is a lot to go through. I don't know many other clubs where you can go and sit there all day and not make anything, but those two, definitely, or at least for me, you know. And I may not have a supermodel's body or anything like that, but I know I'm pretty, and you know, it's just interesting to me to see how some of these clubs work. And also, guys, like right now, I am focusing my work back in Nevada. I have a good team out there and good people that I work with. So I'm working on rekindling connections out there is my main focus right now. I'm going back out there around my birthday on the 20th of this month. So if anybody is interested in coming to see me, let me know. Again, visit my booking website at DyanaDyamonds.com. You can email me at DyanaDyamonds@leverage.net. I know this was kind of a lot to take in on one video, but since, like I said, since this channel is growing, I wanted to kind of give more of a backstory on who I am, if that makes sense, and what I've been through. And I wanted to give awareness to any lady that is trying to become a dancer, or, you know, just a little bit of stripper advice. Just be mindful of where you're working. Not everybody's your friend, even if they pretend to be in these strip clubs, and even with customers. I could tell you guys some stories. If you want more stripper stories, let me know in the comments, and maybe I can make another video on that one day. And even working in Nevada, it's kind of the same thing, but it's not. I don't know how to explain it. But I think it's just the adult entertainment industry in general. You just never let your guard down. Always go with your gut feeling. If a place or a customer or a situation doesn't feel right, follow your instincts. And I think that's going to be it, you guys, on this video. Anyway, I am going to go do something else, I guess. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think down below. If any of those, if you were me and you were going through that, would you have made those decisions? What would you have done? Talk to me. I want to know what you guys think. Also, any hate, any harassment, anything like that will be reported and blocked. That's not welcome on my channel at all, ever. So don't bring that here. Positive vibes only. And again, I am not dissing any of the clubs I mentioned, any of the people I mentioned. I love them dearly. I wish them nothing but happiness, love, and success. Again, this is just my life, my experiences, and I'm sharing them for awareness, education, and entertainment purposes only. And I'm out. So I hope you guys have a great day, and thank you for being here. Again, please hit that subscribe button and that thumbs up, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Good luck to you. I wish you all love, success, happiness, wherever you are. Bye.